Well, I showed horses for years. I've been training horses for 30 years, and I rode a lot of saddles in my occupation, and wanted a good saddle, and so I went and looked at them. This particular saddle, when I'm getting ready to ride, it's always the one I'll go to, just because it's just like when you have a comfortable chair at your house, that's the first place you try to sit, you know. And when you get in this saddle, it just fits you like a glove.
Used to, nearly every little town had a leather shop in it where you could get your shoes fixed or your saddle repaired. Well, as a kid, I used to go down to Stonewall, a little leather shop called the Tack Shop that was down there. And that guy, I would watch him do some leather work. Everybody seemed to want to go to work on a computer and do something with that instead of doing stuff with your hands. And there's just fewer and fewer saddle makers out there. And I'd hope that someone would, a young guy that's way younger than me, would step up and want to do the same thing to keep it alive, because otherwise we'll be importing them all from Venezuela or something, or maybe, I don't know, or Argentina. I started about 25 years ago. A friend gave me a book when he heard I was going to start making saddles. Said, here's a little book and a video, said check this out and it might help you on some things, and it did. Ralph came in with me 25 years ago to help. He had known how to make saddles. He had made some for a guy down in Texas where he worked at a saddle shop. Any questions I had, he could help me with them, and together we just made a lot of saddles. I was probably in the 5th grade when I got started. I wanted a bull rope, and I didn't have the money to buy one, so I found one that was broken at a rodeo, and I took it apart, seen how it was made, and it involved braiding and leather work. Just took off from there, and someone had a ball glove that would tear up and need it relaced. Well, I was the guy that'd bring it to. It'd be some high schooler's glove usually, but they'd bring it to a kid down in 5th grade and say, I need you to fix this glove. We got a game this weekend or something, so. There's no two saddles that really look the same. I mean, people that know my saddles, they can pick one out when someone's riding in the arena or across the pasture. They know it's one that I made. None of them are really the exact same, because everything's done with flow of what you're making and the style they want it to look like. You know, usually if someone custom orders, they rode someone else's saddle that we made, and they said, I want one just like that one there, because it fits the way they want it to fit. Sits on the horses, same kind of built horse that they ride. So when we do what's called the ground seat work in the saddle, which is the layers of leather you put in there in the seat to shape it before you put the actual seat in, they will come and sit in it and say, take a little out here, add some over here to get the feel that they want. Normally we can get it without them being here, but some guys want to show up and have that done.
What makes Marty a good saddle maker is his attention to detail. Yeah, when I went in there and talked to him, I told him exactly what I wanted. I wanted my brand on there and the kind of tooling I wanted and the seat I wanted in it. This saddle here, it'll last my lifetime, and probably it'll last into my kid's lifetime.
An Arabian horse has one less rib than a regular quarter horse, so their backs are shorter and you can't have as much bar back over their loins. Some horses, in just their breeding, they will be thicker, so they'll need a little wider spread and a little flatter bars. And then somebody else might ride a horse that's more thoroughbred to him, and they'll be a little narrower, so you have to have a certain tree to fit that horse too. From the time they order it, it's going to take about 8 weeks for them to get the tree made, which is the foundation of the saddle, because it's made to specs on the seat length, the type of horn, the width of the gullet, and all that stuff. But when we get the tree, it's going to take right about a week for us to get the saddle made. Once we got the tree here and start to work on it, it's about a week-long process. Most of our saddles anymore are all rough-out saddles. We can get those out a little bit quicker. The rough-out leather is actually the side of the cowhide that has the rough part of it, which was against the flesh when it was on the cow. And the smooth out is the part that the hair was on the cow. So if it's smooth out, they'll want some tooling on it and decorative carving. That takes a little while. So I would say in the last 5 years, probably at least 75% of them are all rough out. That kind of seems to be the trend, I guess. An all rough out saddle will cost right about $3,000, and then if you get up to tooling and stuff, they can get up around $5,000 or $6,000. If they'll give us a picture of it, we can tool it. I like to say we can do the impossible. It just takes a little longer and costs a little more. We hardly ever build any just show saddles. Most of our saddles, they use them to work in. You figure, the life of the saddle, it costs you $20 a year to have something that fits you and is going to be comfortable. Well, it's worth it. Price is determined by beef consumption. I think it's 400,000 a week they have to slaughter for beef consumption. So you got that many hides, and those hides are not just for saddles. They might be car upholstery or couch leather or shoe leather. That makes a difference in what leather's going to cost us. I found a supplier out of Pennsylvania, a tannery up there that I normally use. 90% of my leather comes from them. It takes a little over 2 sides to make a saddle, and I'll get, 30 or 40 sides at a time from them, so they know what I like. I've used them for 20 years now. We've probably built saddles in all, at least 48 states. The ones that are in like Australia or Italy or someplace like that is someone that went over there to put on a clinic and took their own saddles over there, and while they were there, someone there wanted that saddle and probably paid a pretty hefty price to be able to keep their saddling gear there that we made. To be a saddle maker, you got to see it in your mind what your finished deal is going to look like, and then transfer it to that project that you're working on. When you get through with it, you know that you built that whole thing with your hands. It wasn't put in the microwave, hit the button, saddle pops out. From when I first started, I didn't think it would turn into this, a full-time job, but I kind of figured I would always wind up doing some kind of full-time leather work. I guess making all the bull ropes forced me into the saddle deal. So far, it's worked out pretty good.